Yeah.
because it's phenomenal. Scott Raven in Atlanta, you're up.
Thank you, Hilary. Beautiful vulnerability that you shared there and your cause to help women. And as somebody who went through his own alcoholic downfall 7 years ago, it certainly hits home, particularly for me as a man. And that's the root of my question, which is for men who don't like to ask for help, solve the problem yourself, man up. And I think there was a study that I read, 1 in 6 adult men think that they have no true friends in the world. How would you talk about your personal story to them to seek the help they need?
A great question. So where I go with that is like, oh my gosh, my brain. So I have a 6-year-old boy, right? And I'm trying to teach him now it's okay to cry, right? Like it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel whatever you feel. If you're angry, cool. Like that's fine. Let's punch a pillow. Let's stomp like a dinosaur. Let's process the anger in a way that's healthy and not stuff it down. Because I think a lot of us humans, like women, men, like we're walking through as these wounded children, right? Wanting to look like we have it all together. I think it's tough. I do think it's tough for men to share emotions and vulnerability. And it goes back. I think the one thing I have is to find a community of other people, of other men, of other men and women that are your safe space. And look, even as a woman, I found that was pretty hard. Excuse me. I worked with I've been working with a therapist, and I said to her, I'm like, I don't know if I want to share this with you. And she's like, why? And I'm like, because you might not like me anymore. I mean, I've been working, I'm like, she's like, what would happen if I didn't like you? I'm like, I don't want you to not like me. And so I think it goes back to that. Like we want people to like us. We want to be accepted. And so to find that acceptance, it's surrounding ourselves with people that accept us for who we are. But that takes a lot of vulnerability and that's really hard. And I think, but I think getting sober is a great first step because we have to kind of own our shit, right? Like we have to be humble and we have to say like, I really messed up. I'm sorry. Right. And I think a lot of that comes from saying I'm sorry too. Like a lot of people don't, I don't know if that was a good answer.
It
But
was. Thank you.
that breaks my
So,
heart. 1 in 6 men say they don't have a real friend. Is that what
yeah.
the stat was?
I mean, I've heard you talk before about the importance of community.
Yeah.
And, I think for anybody, it's just so, it's